Amazing. Helen is first time caller out of Texas. Helen, get it off your chest.
Hey, Jesse, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Hey, great to be talking with you. It's so easy to get through.
Thank you, Helen. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I've been watching your show about 3.5 months, and I love it. I've never heard anyone who teaches like you do by asking questions, and you're so patient, and you let each person like walk through it, and you teach them the truth with love. I'm so inspired by that.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much, Helen. Helen, let me ask, did you just listen to the story of the robot preacher?
I was listening to it. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, that's pretty wild. I don't know what to think yet. I know a lot of Japanese people. My husband's Japanese, actually.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
And you're a white lady?
Yes, sir.
How'd you end up with a Japanese husband?
Oh, it's a long story. I don't think you have time for all that.
Oh, okay.
I have to answer your biblical question. Oh, well.
How did God create sex?
I believe God definitely created sex.
Why,
but it was
why do you believe that
Adam
God?
And Eve. Well, they should have consummated it when they reached maturity. See, Adam and Eve were in the garden growing, right?
Right.
They were growing?
Yes.
You know that?
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Okay.
And so God gave them a commandment, right? Don't eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And what does that mean? It means don't have sex out of wedlock.
And when you say they should have consummated sex, how do you consummate sex?
Well, at the time when they reached maturity, then God would bless them. And then that time he gave them permission, then they would have sex with God's blessing. But that's not what happened.
Where did you get all that information from that they were growing in the garden, sex should have been consummated? Where'd you get that from?
You have to kind of, I believe that God is revealing that in this day. Let me put it like that. It's kind of a long story, but...
So you believe that God is consummating sex?
I believe that God wanted to, if they had followed the commandment, right, and they reached maturity. So it's a stretch, but it's there in the Bible. They were, everything. I don't believe in evolution, all right? So everything develops, right?
Do you believe that
the world that you see is growing?
Do you believe the earth is flat or round?
Sorry?
Do you believe the earth is flat or round?
I believe it's round. It's a globe, yes.
Do you know that there are people who believe that the earth is flat?
Yeah, I can't wrap my brain around that. I haven't heard their propaganda.
Well, I interview a preacher and another guy who's supposed to be an expert in the flat earth movement. And it's coming up. Eventually, we're going to show it on the Fallen State. It's for the Fallen State.
Oh, yeah.
So look out for it. There are really people out there who believe that the earth is flat.
Wow.
But anyway, and so this thing about God consummating sex and all that, you kind of just believe that that's going to happen, or you read that somewhere?
I think that is like the culmination, like at the second coming of Christ. People are going to be able to overcome that sin. Like right now, we're in the fallen state, like you always say. I thought, oh, wow, Jesse gets it because, he's talking about the fallen state.
Right.
But I don't think that God will leave us like that. That's what I'm saying.
Well, will he leave you like that if you don't repent?
I think we have to repent, yeah.
Right.
Repentance is a big part of it, sure. That's a main teaching of Jesus, right?
Yes, you must be born again.
Right.
Helen, very interesting call. I'm going to have my little 2 cent put in. Listen out for it about did God create sex, all right? I really appreciate it. Back in a moment, folks.